Hey guys, this is Tesla Tim, and I'm actually coming to you live from my Model S in my garage. And I kind of wanted to live stream version 8 getting upgraded. It's not here yet. I'm kind of sitting in my car. I'm not being a nerd, but I am being a nerd. Kind of sitting in my car a little bit. I kind of wanted to live stream this a little bit and see when it comes out. I'm actually going to reboot the computer to see if it actually forces the update to come through. And in the meantime, I'm gonna do a little talking about Tesla's version 8, the actual the different things I think that will be coming with version 8, and kind of go over a couple of interesting things on Twitter that Elon Musk kind of went over with version 8 being released. And so first thing that we should do, first thing I want to do is I want to actually go ahead and I want to reboot the car and see if rebooting the car will actually force. And holy cow, who in the heck is texting? Stop texting. Let's see if let's go ahead and if you guys have iPhones or iPads and stuff, and you get somebody that's this is a side note, get somebody that's annoying, that's you're like in those group chat messages and they're super annoying, you're trying to do a video, live video, you can go into the actual chat itself, and you can't see because this is super bright, but you can actually turn on do not disturb, and there you go, that's done. I don't have to worry about that bothering us while we're doing the live feed here. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to go ahead and reboot the car and see if that forces version 8 to start downloading. I am connected directly to my wireless network at home, so that should make the update go a lot quicker. And I do plan on, once the update goes through, I already did a little bit of a video that I haven't posted yet of an overview of version 7.1, and what we'll do is we'll do a side-by-side comparison of 7.1 and version 8. So when 8 comes out, I'll do a small little video of like the actual display cluster and the 17-inch screen going through each little feature and kind of comparing to what 7 was. We're also going to release a bunch of videos on Autopilot, and we did a video on our YouTube channel that was basically me showing the all of the sensors and having my my cousin BJ kind of be in the way of the car, and we're going to do that again with him. But we're going to use that new stuff that I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. The new configuration of how Autopilot and all the sensors kind of sees objects. But we'll go over that in a second. So first thing I want to do while you guys are watching is I want to go ahead and I want to reboot the car and see that forces version 8 to come through. Hold on one second. I'm gonna jump on my my feed here. Just bear with me. Should put some background music in, but I can't do that because then somebody will claim that music as theirs, and then next thing you know, I can't post it on YouTube. So let's see here. All right. I'm not sure how live feed works, if we're allowed to actually view the live feed. This is kind of like my first official live feed. And it's kind of looking through here. Well, whatever. So, let's go ahead and reboot this bad boy real quick. So to reboot your car, all you do is on the display on the steering wheel, all you do is hold down the left and right spin wheels. Just kind of hold them in for, I'd say, about 5 or 10 seconds, and you'll see the actual center display go black. Once it does, just go ahead and let go, and you'll hear things starting to shut down. The AC will shut down. The car will just get really quiet. So let's go ahead and watch what happens. Eventually, you will see a Tesla T show up here on the screen here. That means everything's rebooting, and then once it comes through the reboot, it's actually going to start initializing all the systems: your wireless, your Bluetooth, the AC system, heating and cooling, GPS, the backup camera. Everything will start getting reinitialized. Once it finally reinitializes everything and you see it connect to Wi-Fi, then we'll see if it actually maybe kicks off that update that we're all looking for. I know for a fact that this did work for before on other updates when people are like, hey, I got my update come through. My car wasn't showing it, and then I rebooted it and it did show there. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, the backup camera just initialized itself. GPS hasn't picked up yet. Side of a garage, so it might not. Looks like LTE just picked up and Bluetooth disconnected. Let's see if it connects to my Wi-Fi network. GPS just enabled. It just connected to my Wi-Fi network. Radio system's back up, which is just wireless Wi-Fi. And nothing. Nothing. So I have to wonder, I know Elon said that they're releasing it tonight, so I have to wonder if it's going to be like, I'm in New York, so I'm in Eastern Standard Time, if they're going to release it like around midnight or so, like their time, California time, which would be 3 o'clock in the morning my time. There's no way I'm live streaming that long, but I will definitely give you guys the experience of version 8.0, doing the upgrade. I'll do a little video of like the actual, kicking off the install or the download. Basically all it is just a download, and then once it gets done downloading, it does the install, and then everything comes back to life. I imagine this is not going to be a 45-minute install. It's probably going to be a long download and a long installation, so you obviously don't want to hang around for that. So while I'm here talking about version 8.0, I kind of want to go over some things. The first thing that everybody's talking about is how it's going to improve Autopilot. And right now, the current status of Autopilot is the one forward facing camera, the Mobileye camera, which is obviously another topic of conversation. In version 7.1, that's the primary sensor, if you want to call it, the primary detector of Autopilot. So like when you're driving down the road, I'm imagining the software, once the camera sees like a semi or a car, it can identify it, and then it displays it on your center console. And then your radar basically kind of assists that, but it wasn't heavy radar, it was more on camera based. And then obviously if it got a little rainy or snowy, the radar would take over and kind of help, like almost as a backup, and say, okay, that is a vehicle or that is an object. And then that's when it applies the brakes and all that stuff. So in version 8.0, according to Elon, they're actually using radar as the primary. That's going to be the heavy sensor that does all the good stuff and make sure that that object is an object. And then the backup is going to be the camera. And I know everybody's getting mad and saying, and Mobileye is saying, hey, the reason why we left is because Tesla's kind of using this sensor to its extreme, and we don't want to deal with the safety precautions. But I'm not sure if that's 100% true, because if Tesla is starting to use the radar as their primary sensor, almost not that they're going to phase out the camera, but the primary sensor used to be the camera, and now it's radar. So wouldn't you be getting mad, like if you're Mobileye and you're selling all these cameras to Tesla, and now they're saying, hey, we're not using your camera like we were going to. We're actually going to use our radar to detect everything, and then the camera's a backup. So now you're not going to, they're probably still going to sell a product, but I heard like rumors that they were going to have like 3 cameras down the road. Maybe there's a hookup in here. I think I seen somebody or a video where there's hookups for multiple cameras. So Mobileye was going to sell multiple cameras for new Teslas coming up. Maybe that's not going to happen. It's something to think about. I don't know if that's true, but now with the new Autopilot in version 8.0, it's heavily radar and a little bit of camera. So I'll definitely be placing the video once we're updated on, like I was telling you guys before. We'll take my cousin BJ and we'll put him in harm's way, and we'll take the car toward him and see how the car reacts versus version from 7 to version 8, and see if it actually sees him better. Because I know that when we were in Autopilot, it did see him pretty well, and it did apply the brake. But when we were just driving normally slow, it would beep, but it didn't do anything collision wise. It was like almost like he wasn't there. So we'll do that and see how the reaction is. So that's one of the big things I wanted to touch on. One thing I looked at on Twitter as well, I'm sure you guys can go to Twitter now if you'd like to, is, let me pull it up real quick. It's kind of an interesting thing that Elon was talking about in regards to, I think it's version 8.1. So version 8.0 is coming out tonight, but version 8.1 is supposed to have this feature with little kids or dogs. So like you leave your kid in the car or your dog in the car on a hot day or even on a cold day, the car is actually going to cool itself off and make sure that that kid or that dog doesn't die. First of all, common sense is you don't leave your kid in the car. I mean, you hear people going to work and leaving their kid in or their dog in the car, going in grocery shopping, leaving their kid in the car. You know, grocery shopping doesn't take like 1 minute, and you know it takes half an hour to an hour or longer. So you're gonna leave your kid in the car and let the kid overheat or die, and it has happened in dogs. So obviously we all know common sense is you don't leave your kids in the car, and you would think that Tesla owners would know not to leave your kid in the car, right? And not to be stereotypical, maybe it's lower income families that are doing that, but guess what? Don't have to worry about what kind of money you make if you own a Tesla. In the future, Elon has a feature that automatically cools off the vehicle if you leave your dog or your kid in the car. I'm not sure exactly how it works, if it's going to listen to sound. Obviously, when you sit in the driver's seat, it detects your weight. It detects your weight in the passenger seat because it turns on and off the airbag. I'm not sure about the back seats. So is it going to listen for sound? Is it going to detect weight? I'm not 100% sure. I'm kind of looking through here. It doesn't give you exactly how it's going to do that, because you know how does it know somebody's in the car? How does it know a dog's in the car, right? So, but that's kind of a cool feature. I think it's neat. I think it's a cool thing. What do you guys think about that? Maybe comment down below and let me know if you think it's a cool idea. I think it's pretty awesome. Anything like that can help out save lives is pretty amazing. So let's go back to version 8.0. I'm still waiting for the update to come through. Nothing at all. I was kind of hoping it would be neat if the update did kind of like start pushing itself while we were talking. It would be really neat. So obviously the main thing when you're reading the article on Tesla.com is upgrading Autopilot, seeing the world in radar. So we just talked about that. That's the main thing. The Autopilot is changing. But what else is changing? Well, it's going to be an overhaul of this whole interface. I'm imagining that the top here, where all your main icons are for your apps, isn't going to change much. They might flatten it out a little bit. There was a leak online where you guys saw these were grayed out, but that was because I'm pretty sure that was because they're in valet mode, and that's kind of neat. When you put it in valet mode in version 8.0, it's probably going to gray out the things that the valet can't use, which is kind of a neat feature. That makes sense. But I don't imagine they're going to take all the color away from us, because it doesn't make sense to remove all the color. You know, we're not boring people. So I think I'm imagining that most of these are going to be flattened out a little bit more, maybe like iOS 8 first happened. I don't think there's going to be much changing from the top and the bottom. We're all used to what is here. I think that's all going to stay the same. Backup camera and definitely backup camera. Nothing's going to happen there. It's going to be the same. Your GPS and your mapping is going to change a bunch. I heard that it's going to give you the capability to map fastest route or shortest route, which is neat, and looking forward to that. Will be pretty nice. Other than that, I think you're just going to see subtle changes. You'll see the overhaul look, the new UI, but you'll see subtle changes in different areas, like inside the calendar app, and obviously I'm not sure if you guys can make sense of the Power app yet. I'm just starting to really understand exactly what it's all about. I've had the car for about 3 months now, and we did a cross-country trip from Flagstaff to Buffalo and back, and it's kind of neat how you can see how this graph works, and shows you like when you've actually gained battery power back and all that. So it takes a little bit of getting used to figure that out, but so I mean, version 8.0, I'm looking forward to it. I wanted to live stream so you guys can kind of see maybe it happened in live action, but not the case. I'm hoping they do change the web browser. That's probably the most if you're talking to a Tesla owner, they're going to tell you they don't probably use the web browser that often. I do good on the one time I did use it. I left my phone at home. My wife was out in shop, and I was kind of in the car, just like, yeah, I'm not gonna shop. Go get whatever she was getting. So I was kind of trying to search, like I'm doing a QuickBooks integration with my software, and I was kind of searching in here for QuickBooks integrations, APIs, and all that stuff, and really, really slow. I had like full LTE in the area too, but it was still slow, clunky. I think they have it locked down pretty well because they don't want Java running. They don't want Adobe Flash. There's nothing, I don't think Flash is even in there, but they don't want anything that's going to run any kind of video. So I think it just kind of inherently locks it down pretty hard for you. So, so more stuff that's coming is, let's take a look here. It said here, TACC braking max ramp rate, increased latency, reduced factor of 5. No idea what that is. Something with braking. Now controls for 2 cars ahead using radar echo, improving cutout response and reaction time to otherwise invisible heavy braking events. That's kind of a neat thing right there. So like when you're driving the Tesla, it's usually only 1 car ahead of you. You can see cars to your left as well if there's other cars in left and right lanes if you're in a multi-lane road. But you can't see more than 1 car ahead, so that's all you see is the 1 car. So it's just saying that you're going to see the 1 car and the car ahead of it. And I heard they're going to, it's kind of silly, I don't know how that would work, but they're going to bounce radar off the ground, off the asphalt. And it's going to go under the car, and then it's going to see on the other side. I mean, we'll see how well that does work. Obviously, if they're saying it here, they've tested it and it does work, so that's going to be kind of freaky. That's something I definitely want to show you guys in the video coming up. And I do apologize, I haven't done many videos the last month or so. I've been really busy with, I released a software update myself to our software, the program I program. I've been really busy with troubleshooting any bugs in that. You know, we have quite a few customers, and I got to make sure they're happy, so I wasn't able to do any videos in the Tesla. We did a couple of trips during that time, but I was just really busy, I couldn't make any videos. I did do the video of our new custom plates coming in, so I got a little bit of free time now, so we are going to do more videos, so guys, look forward to those coming out soon. Let's see, let's go back to version 8. So it says we'll take highway exit if indicator on version 8, or if nav system active in version 8.1. That's kind of interesting. So now in the car, when you're on a highway and you have autopilot engaged, if you want to switch lanes, all you do is put on your blinker, and automatically it looks to your right or your left, whatever way you're going, and make sure there's no traffic in that area, and you know your sensors don't sense any vehicle there, and then it'll get over for you, and then it'll stay in that lane, and autopilot will continue. So this is saying that if I put my blinker on now manually, and there is an exit that I want to go off to, it'll actually get off the exit. Instead of going, it'll lane change if you're lane changing, then eventually get off the exit. So we'll test that out. But it's even saying a step further in version 8.1 that if the nav system's active, it'll take the highway, it'll take the exit. So I'm thinking that, I mean, to me, I mean, you guys are probably thinking the same thing. If I'm GPSing and I'm mapping from home to where I'm going. So if I'm on a highway and it says GPS saying, hey, you got to take this exit to go off, is my car going to automatically take that exit? That's an 8.1, so we can't demonstrate that right off the get-go when this update comes out. But I'll definitely test that out in 8.1 when that comes out. Who knows when that's going to be. It says car offsets in lane when overtaking slower vehicle driving close to its lane edge. And that's actually interesting. That's actually an issue I see a lot, especially when we were driving the how many miles was it? It was like 5,000 miles total round trip from Arizona, you know, from Buffalo to Arizona and back. I noticed that like when a semi would get really close to their lane, I'm in my lane, a semi gets really close to their side of the lane, my car didn't care. It was like, I'm staying in the middle. So a normal driver, they get kind of freaked out, and if the semi's coming over the lane or getting close to the lane, you'll take your car and you'll move it over a little bit. You won't go off the road and hit the rumble strips, but you'll move over a little bit just to kind of give yourself peace of mind. My wife freaks out every time because we'll be next to a semi on autopilot. All of a sudden a semi, I don't know what happens, but he's kind of like getting closer and closer to us, and the autopilot's like, whatever, I'm just going to stay in lane. And she's freaking out like we're going to get an accident. It never has happened. But so this is saying that if that does happen, it's going to actually move your car over a little bit to adjust for that, which is kind of neat. We'll have to test that out too. Interface alerts are much more prominent, including flashing white border on instrument panel. I'm imagining on this instrument panel here, it's probably going to flash a border all around the outside to kind of like alert you that, hey, something's going on. I'm thinking that's what's going to be. And interface alerts are much more prominent, so I'm thinking that when you're autopiloting a lot, it'll tell you. I usually autopilot, my hands are in my lap, kind of like like this, and it'll tell me to grab the wheel, and you just got to give it a little bit of feedback. It's kind of like that, and then it's satisfied. Then you let go and let it go again. I heard that they're going to make it so that if you miss a couple of those alerts, you can't really miss them because it'll slow the car down. I did a video on that, but if you miss them and it gets to the beep stage, because it gives you an alert, it says grab wheel. If you don't grab it, it'll say grab it again, then it'll start beeping, and then eventually it'll slow your car down. But if you just grab your wheel during any of those times and kind of give it a little feedback, it'll continue. So this, from what I understand, if it gets to the beep phase 3 times in a row, and you do grab the wheel and give it feedback, it'll automatically shut autopilot off, and then you won't be able to use the car. You won't be able to use autopilot again until you actually come to a complete stop, put it in park, and go again. So that's kind of interesting. We'll see how many people get annoyed with that, but it's for safety reasons, of course. Improved cut-in detection using blinker on vehicle ahead. That's another cool feature that I was hoping that would come. So you ever come upon, like when you're driving your car ahead of you, they have their blinker on, and if you're a Tesla owner, you can understand where I'm coming from here. You're on autopilot. What the car does is, the car doesn't know, in version 7.1, the car doesn't know that car's turning. So your car basically puts the brakes on and almost brings you to a complete stop. And then that car turns, and then you're almost at a complete stop, and then your car goes again. That's kind of annoying, especially people behind you, because they're like, in normal situations, that car's turning, your car will kind of go a little bit around. They're not like super in the other lane, but it'll go around, and you continue on going your normal speed. But now what it does is, on autopilot, it goes almost to a full stop. People behind you are like, what the hell is this guy doing? Because he's almost to a full stop. You know what I mean? So this is what I imagine this is going to be. Improved cut-in detection using blinker on the vehicle head. So it's going to see that blinker. It's going to know it's turning, so it's going to go adjust a little bit around it. So you obviously missed the tail end of the car. And I'm sure based on the velocity of the car ahead of you, it'll judge that. I'm hoping. We'll test that. Let's see. Reduced likelihood of overtaking the right lane in Europe. We're not in Europe, so not worried about that one. Our European brethren can take care of that one. Improved auto lane change availability. So that's just going to improve the lane change. I've had a couple of problems when we were driving to Arizona where I would put on the lane change, and the dotted lines are very prominent in the middle. And I'm going to do lane change because somebody's coming behind me. They're like coming really fast on my tail. I do lane change on autopilot, and the car doesn't detect there's things in the middle, like there's dotted lines, and it just sits there. I'm like, oh crap, had to disengage autopilot, get over real quick. I'm like, why isn't this working? My sensor's broken or something? What's going on? So that's kind of cool. Car will now, here's what I was talking about. Car will not allow re-engagement of auto steer until parked if user ignores repeated warnings. So that's what we talked about a second ago. So if you ignore the warnings, eventually it'll disengage it and you won't be able to bring it back in. Automatic braking will now amplify user braking in emergencies. I'm not sure what that's going to be. I know it does automatically brake when you get, there's a card trying to explain it. When you have your car and there is another car in front of you, maybe stopped, and your car's coming in hot at it, maybe they slam the brakes on, the car ahead of you turns red, and you get like a collision beep real loud, and eventually your car will stop itself, like every other high-end vehicle, like a Mercedes. They'll do it. It's like a stop feature, right? So it's just saying here it's going to amplify that in emergencies. So I don't know. We'll find that one out too. In manual mode, alerts driver if about to leave the road, and no torque on steering wheel has been detected since auto steer deactivated. Okay. So if you're driving the car yourself without autopilot, it's gonna alert you that you're leaving the road, which it does that already. It does have a option where, like, um, if you go over your lane a little bit, you know how you have like the rumble strip now in the car. Well, in this situation, if you go over the road, currently in version 7.1, if you go over the road, if the feature's set up, it'll actually shake the wheel and makes it feel like you're in the rumble strip. So this is saying here that, excuse me, in manual mode, it alerts the driver if you're about to leave the road, and you're basically not applying any torque on the steering wheel to kind of get back on the road. So I heard also that, yeah, this is, and there's another part to it. With further gathering of data, so right now, let's say that you're in manual mode, you're going off the road, you're not applying any feedback, no torque on the steering wheel. So part 2 to this is, with further data gathering, the car will activate auto steer to avoid collision. It says when probability is 100%. So I'm thinking that, like, if you went off the road, you're not actually trying to steer back on the road, it'll activate autopilot for you and get you back on the road and maybe bring you down to normal speed. Who knows? I'm not sure. It says here, curve adaptation now uses fleet learned roadway curvature. And what that means is, again, if you own a Tesla, you'll understand this. If you don't, I'll explain it. When you're in autopilot and you come to a hill, not really a super steep hill, but it's a pretty good hill gradient. You can't see over the top of the hill. So in autopilot, what happens is you hit that hill, and then the camera can't see what's going on past the hill. So the 2 lines on both sides go away. They go invisible, and now your car starts doing what I call the Tesla sway, and it kind of sways back and forth on autopilot. It doesn't disengage it, and then eventually, as you get over the hill, it detects one side, almost ping pongs you to one side, detects the other side, goes to the other side, and eventually it evens itself out, and you're good to go. In some instances, you might have to grab the steering wheel because it can't see it. So this is saying that curve speed adaptation now uses fleet learning. So curved roadways, hilled roadways are now going to be a fleet learned thing, which I think is awesome. So if you're coming over a hill, you're constantly going over it, it's going to know that's there, the curve as well, and it'll make adjustments accordingly. And it says approximately 200 small enhancements that aren't worth the bullet note. And again, you guys can read this on Tesla.com under their updates area, and the title is Upgrading Autopilot, Seeing the World in Radar. I'm excited about version 8.0. I can't wait for it to come out. And obviously that's why I'm doing this live feed right now. And let's go ahead and check Elon Musk, his Twitter right now, and see if anything's happening. He's kind of tweeting right now about, like, he read a story about a father and son who's died incredibly quickly. Can be as little as a half an hour in the hot sun. Yeah, so it's pretty crazy. It says here, can't always detect babies and pets. Not sure about that. Tesla keeps temperature below 40 degrees Celsius, 105 degrees Fahrenheit by automatically venting cabin and turning on AC when needed. Can do this to up to a year on full charge. Yeah, hopefully nobody's kids in the car for a year. They're gonna die of starvation. I wonder if they're gonna have like a starvation mode where they actually give you like food and stuff. Like, so your baby's in the car, air conditioning's going, so they're doing good. Next thing you know, they're hungry, and the bottle comes out and feeds the baby. You know, is that gonna happen? Let's just hope nobody leaves their kids in the car. You know what I mean? Jeez. Says here it's a major overhaul on almost every level compared to version 7. And what prompted me to do the live feed, it says version 8.0 starts downloading tonight. Release will be gradual to make sure there are no small regressions. Many car configs, many environments. So let's go ahead and reboot the console one more time. I'm not sure if it's going to help us out. If it doesn't, I will go ahead and kill this live feed about version 8. I will maybe bring it back once the update does kick off. It is about 10:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, my time right now, and nothing's happening. Let's go ahead and do one more reboot, and if it comes back and nothing's there, we'll go ahead and kill the live feed, and then I'll post tons of videos about version 8. We'll do tons of testing, and that way you guys can see that. People that, yeah, I think it's to be helpful for current Tesla owners, but they're probably doing the same thing I'm doing. They're probably upgrading and geeking out about it. But people that are looking to buy a car, maybe are taking delivery next month, you guys are gonna love these videos coming up, because you're gonna see firsthand how your car can transform via a software update. Like, what other vehicle can you say you can do an upgrade to the whole system, to the firmware in the system, and you're excited about it because it could change the whole way you do your car. I couldn't imagine being around for version 6.0 and before that, because I came on in version 7.1. My car is only 3 months old, and I love the way I love everything about this display cluster. I'm happy with it. But I did drive an older Tesla with older software, and it was like, I couldn't imagine like being on that old software and then doing the 7.1 update or the 7.0 update, and like, holy cow, it's like I have a whole different car. The car drives the same, but now like the software is different. It does change a lot, change the ballgame. So there's no other vehicle that I know of, and you guys can comment down below, that can change everything by software update. It's like driving a big iPhone, driving a big Android Note 7. No, I can't even do the Android Note 7 because that's got issues, and we're not going to talk about those issues in a Tesla because we don't want that to happen in Tesla. So we'll talk about iPhones. It's like a big iPhone updating itself. You know, when you go from version 9 to version 10, you're excited a little bit because iOS 10 had tons of cool features. You know, same thing with this. You're going from version 7.1 to version 8, and we're excited as Tesla owners because what goodies are we going to have in there? You know, maybe you know what, one thing I'm looking forward to, and you guys can comment down below if you're Tesla owners. I'm looking forward to, and I don't know if it's going to happen, I'm not going to get my hopes up, I have a Spotify account. Right now you have Slacker Radio, and you have like another streaming radio that you can listen to. And I didn't get the Sirius XM upgrade, so I don't have that in here, but I do have a Spotify account, and I use it a lot, and it would be really cool to have Spotify in here. And I've heard rumors, I think over in Europe they have Spotify already, so it would be neat to see version 8 bring Spotify. That would be really cool. That would make me happy. But I'm happy already. I'm smiling all the time when I drive this vehicle. It's bar none the best investment I've made. All right, I'm ranting. So let's go ahead and reboot this and see if it does anything for us. Okay, here we go. And again, it's about 10 Eastern Standard Time, September 21st. And Elon Musk says, "Hey, we're releasing it tonight, gradually." And I was hoping that, you know, I have a newer Tesla. It's a 2016, 2017. 3 months ago I took delivery, so maybe they'll roll it out to newer vehicles. Who knows? I mean, I wasn't hoping that, but I was kind of hoping like, hey, maybe we get it. All right, let's see what happens. Everything should be initializing. Nothing so far. I'll wait for Bluetooth and Wi-Fi to kick on. Hey guys, if you like you know, my live stream here, obviously we didn't get to see version 8. I'm excited about it. Give us a thumbs up. If you don't like my live stream, you don't like me on, give me a thumbs down. And if you like our content, definitely subscribe to our channel. We're growing, and I got tons more videos. Definitely, I have a Model 3 on order. Won't get here till late 2017. Hopefully we're on the list to get one sooner rather than later, because we do have a Model S now, so it kind of bumps up a little bit. But so it looks like everything is initialized. We'll give it another couple minutes or another couple seconds, and let me go ahead and turn the radio off here. And nothing at all. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and leave you with that. Sorry about the disappointment. It's definitely coming. I mean, he tweeted it and said, "Hey, it's coming." Hopefully we can trust him that it is here. I'm sure tomorrow morning when